Well, hello everyone, it's Don Baine, the Gadget Professor, back in action. I have been waiting for at least 6 months for this device, and I finally got it yesterday. I was very excited to get it. Yes, it's a Bluetooth speaker, but not really. Stay tuned.
He's got the toys. He's got showmanship. And he's got sex appeal. Ladies and gentlemen, from the great Southwest, here's the guru of gadgets, the dapper and dashing Don Baine, the Gadget Professor. Gadget Professor.
Hello everyone, it's Don Baine. Welcome back. Of course, I am the Gadget Professor. We are on episode 208. I'm very excited about reviewing the gadget of the day. It's actually made by Amazon, and there's no surprise. It's the Echo, and as you know, I've been waiting to get mine for about 6 months, and I got it last night, and I've been really working it through its paces, so stay tuned. You'll find this review, I think, pretty interesting, and unlike most other reviews, I'm going to tell you exactly the good, the bad, and the ugly, if there is any. So in any event, we come out every Thursday evening with a brand new episode. We are on episode 208, and we are coming to you live and in color from my studio in Scottsdale, Arizona. It's actually about 8 o'clock here in Arizona, and I just was able to sit down finally and record the episode. The studio was busy today, so I couldn't get in there, but anyway, I'm delighted to be back, and sorry about last week, but we'll make it up for you this week. So if you're new to the Gadget Professor, obviously welcome. You found us. The easiest way to get to us is just go to thegadgetprofessor.com. Go to the home page, which is right here, and you want to subscribe to the show notes. Just go to important pages, newsletter, and right there, click on that. Put your newsletter in there. Put your email address in, and you will get the show notes every Thursday evening as soon as the show is posted. Also, you can check us out on Facebook, and that's Facebook.com/The Gadget Professor. You can email me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at thegadgetprofessor@gmail.com, thegadgetprofessor@gmail.com, and I will definitely respond to all the emails. And certainly you can obtain this episode just by tuning in. Actually, just if you have iTunes, we're on iTunes. We're all over that, and we're also all over the Roku box. So I hope you enjoyed today's show. Let's get with it. The first thing that we're going to discuss today is going to be hacking news, and this doesn't come of any surprise to me, but the IRS has been hacked. 100,000 tax accounts breached. I'm probably one of them. Criminals hacked into the Internal Revenue Service website and gained access to approximately 100,000 tax accounts, the agency said Tuesday. More attempts were made, but they were not successful. So if you're one of the lucky 100,000 people that was hacked, my heart goes out to you, because getting that straightened out is not going to be fun. This is not the first or second time that they've been hacked. It might be the first or second time they've admitted it. But to make matters worse, as I was looking around the internet for some news on this, I come across this article on Fox Business. The IRS is using, get this, 13-year-old Microsoft software. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? This is just outrageous. It's just outrageous. IRS computers are still running the 13-year-old Microsoft Windows XP operating system, which Microsoft incidentally stopped supporting a year ago with security updates. It's just outrageous what is going on with the hacking, and it's even more outrageous that the IRS would allow something like this to happen. I mean, other than the security of the United States, which you would expect to have the best security, cybersecurity in the world, I expect it anyway. The next level of security, high-level security, I would expect to be maintained by the IRS. It's unconscionable. I can't talk too much about it for fear of reprisal. Anyway, let's go on. Some fun apps for you today. A lot of fun apps, actually. This is cool stuff. If you have a Lowe's near you, they're offering these kids clinics. So if you have your kids at home and you're out of school, or they're out of school for the summer and you want something to do that's kind of neat and they're going to learn some really interesting things, check out this kids clinic. It's on the Lowe's Building and Grow website. Of course, it will be on the show notes. This is totally free. Here Saturday, June 13th. And again, it's not in every Lowe's. It's in certain Lowe's. So you've got to check their website. But they have one on Iron Man's Avanjet. They have one on Captain America motorcycle. All kinds of cool things. Backyard play area ideas, all kinds of things. So definitely check that out. It's totally free and it looks like a lot of fun. Another free app for you. Again, for the kids to keep them occupied. This looks like a lot of fun. I might even download this app and use it, but I was reading up on this. It got pretty good reviews. This is 500 Coloring Page. It's a coloring book app. Totally free. It will run on, right now it's running off your iPhone. I think this is also available, if I'm not mistaken, on the Droid side of the things too. But this is really cool. You get all these coloring book pages, and the kids can color them and do all kinds of really creative things. So keep this in mind. And while you're at it, search for these free apps for the kids. They have a lot of fun doing them, and they're going to learn, great computer skills that will help them all through life. Why not? Here's an interesting app, again, totally free. This is available on both the your Droid platform, your Android platform, and also the iOS. This is called Voice Record Pro. And essentially what this will do is it gives you a voice recorder, totally free, which is on steroids. It gives you a VU meter. It's great for reading into. It's great for recording messages, recording lectures, anything like that. Totally free. And if you need an app that will record sound for you, this very well may be that app. Now, this app I've mentioned probably 4 or 5 times over the last 2 or 3 years, but I mention it at the beginning of every summer, and the reason for that is it's always handy to have a police scanner, particularly if you're doing traveling, even if you're at your own locality. You always want to know what's going on with the police, the local law enforcement, where the accidents are, where the traffic tie-ups may be, areas to avoid. So you can download this 5-0 Radio Police Scanner. I have had this app since its inception many years ago, and I really, really like it. It gives you, this one in particular, because it's not only because it's free, but it's quite robust, and it gives you almost everything that you need to know. You can search on the busiest scanners in the country by town. Every town doesn't have a public police scanner, but most of the bigger ones do. I know my hometown, Scranton, Pennsylvania, has a scanner. Not that has much action, fortunately. But, Chicago's pretty busy, and it also shows you when you're listening to the scanner how many people are listening. So it's an interesting app. It's a lot of fun, and it also comes in a variety of different languages. So I think you'll find that quite useful. So check it out. Rolling right along, a very close friend of mine just got a bread maker today. And they asked me if I had any bread making books. Cool thing about cookbooks is they never get old. So the answer is, yeah, I have quite a few of them. The rest of the answer is I don't know where the heck they are, but I'll try to dig them up. In any event, I am sending this person the Bread Lovers Bread Machine Cookbook. That's right, the Bread Lovers Bread Machine Cookbook. And if you have a bread machine, this is a totally free app. It's a large book, but you can download this in a PDF format. It's actually on iTunes, and they'll give you all kinds of recipes for making bread, muffins, all kinds of things. Totally free, and it was released April 23rd, 2015, so it's actually relatively current, so you'll want to check that out. All right. Now, everybody knows, or if you don't know, that's why you're watching the Gadget Professor, that Windows 10 is coming out very soon, and you actually can get a free copy of this. That's right, a free copy. And if you have Windows 7 or Windows 8, you can upgrade and sample Windows 10 and give your feedback on it. And if you want to see what's going on with Windows 10, this is the website that you can actually use. It's it's actually https://insiders.windows.com. And I think you'll like to at least read about this to see what's new in Windows 10. They've got some pretty cool things, I think, coming up. I hope it's easier to operate than Windows 8. I am still using Windows 7 for the most part. I do have one laptop that utilizes Windows 8, and I'm just not a lover of Windows 8. it's too clunky, it's too kludgy. I'm clicking buttons everywhere, and I'm not a lover of it. Yeah, it does work. Of course, it's stable, but I'm hoping that Windows 10 is a smoother revision of Windows 8 and Windows 7, which I think Windows 7 is the best operating system that they've made. People will debate that with me, but hey, that's just my opinion. All right. Here's a relatively new website that I think you'll find interesting, especially with the summer coming up. And this is called Options Away. And what this is it's a website that will find supposedly the cheapest air flights for you. And what's different about this is if you don't want to book that flight immediately, you have the ability to hold it. So you could lock in that price for X amount of days, a day, 2 days, 3 days, 6 months, whatever it may be, obviously, if you've made the reservation 6 months in advance. The only catch that they kind of hide but don't hide, it's there, is that you pay a fee for holding the fare. And you can watch the video, and it will tell you all the things, all the little idiosyncrasies that you have to listen to and be aware of. But it's pretty straightforward. But if you're going to use this site, not that it's a bad site, it's actually a pretty good site. Just remember that you're going to be paying to lock that price in, and it will get into detail as to how much you pay per how many days you hold it. And some people, it's worth that option. It's not a big deal, and other sites don't give you that option. So check it out. Check it out. And now we are going to go to our gadget of the day. And folks, this is it's an interesting concept. It's called the Amazon Echo, and this is what it looks like. Very, very similar to any of the Bluetooth speakers that I've reviewed in the past. In fact, if you were to look at it, you would think that it is a Bluetooth speaker, and actually, the truth be known, it is a Bluetooth speaker. However, it's supposed to do a lot more. What's unlike most Bluetooth speakers is that there's a wire, and the back of this wire goes into a transformer. So the bottom line is this does not work on batteries. It has to be plugged in. End of story. So that's that, and you can see that there's a little, maybe you can see, maybe not, but there's a little light here that shows that this is on, and this is called Alexa. That's her name, and I'll show you a little bit more about that in a minute. Let's take a look at the feature set. And actually, before we do that, as usual, Amazon, like Apple, is into very elegant packaging. And this was certainly elegant, little blue color in the background. Cost them extra money, but no expense spared. I'm showing you the elegancy. I don't know if there's a word, elegancy. I'm showing you the cool box that this comes in. And again, they really pay a lot of attention to packaging, so it makes you feel like you made a good purchase and you're getting a high quality product. And by the way, this is a very high quality product. I am astounded at how well this is actually made. And if you go on the web page, it's amazon.com/oc.echo. You'll get all the information on this. Now, interestingly enough, if you go to the Amazon store, just Amazon.com, and you search Amazon Echo, you won't find this, which is odd, which brings me to a story in a moment. Now, if you actually scroll down, it shows you the inside, what's inside design-wise, and it's quite fascinating. You can see that there's a little loop back for the sound. It compresses it and actually pushes it down. You've got subwoofers and quite a few speakers in there. And the truth of the matter is the sound on this is actually quite good. And what really was astonishing to me, and I'll give you a demo of it in a couple minutes, is that this actually can play with quite a wallop, certainly louder than most Bluetooth speakers that I own, certainly in the top 2 or 3 that I own, and I own quite a few of them. So in terms of fidelity and loudness and oomph and really filling up a room, this definitely does an outstanding job. I'll say that right off the bat. And the quality of the sound is actually quite good to my ear. Button-wise, there's really not a whole heck of a lot going on. As I mentioned, there's a power cord with a power pack on the end that you must plug in. You do have a power light here that indicates that it's plugged in and on. On the top, you'll see 2 buttons. Now, on the top of this device, there's a lot of things going on. And first of all, I'll point out that there are multiple microphones tucked under every Echo lighting ring, and we'll show you that in a minute, is an array of 7 microphones. These sensors use beamforming technology to hear from any direction with enhanced noise cancellation. Echo can hear you ask every question, even while it's playing music. Echo uses on-device keyboard spotting to detect the wake word. When Echo detects the wake word, it lights up and streams audio to the cloud, where we leverage the power of Amazon Web Services to recognize and respond to your request. And you can learn more about this if you click Learn More. So what is this device all about? Why do we need it? What does it do? Well, certainly it's a Bluetooth speaker. Certainly it will connect to any Bluetooth device like your smartphone or any other device that emits a Bluetooth signal, that actually picks up a Bluetooth signal. This will lock onto it. So if I want to use an external speaker on my smartphone, this will do it. If I want to use an external speaker for my iPad, my tablet, whatever, this easily will do that. But that's really not what this is all about. The best way I could describe this is trying to be an information system whereby you ask it questions, it will give you answers, or you give it commands and it will do things for you. Along with the Echo box, the Echo Can, if you will, you're going to get a remote control, which really there's not much to remote control. This has a microphone button, and on top of this has a microphone button, which really doesn't act as a microphone. This little button is to mute the microphone. Why would you mute the microphone? Because if you're not 6 to 10 feet away from this, you're probably better off using the remote, which is a remote microphone. So you'd click the microphone and talk into it, and really you can mute this microphone here if you don't want to use the microphone that is located on the top. So that's all that is. And then you have another button here which essentially will turn the device on, and you can see the blue light lights up. Now, one of the other nice features about this is there's a volume control which you can turn to make it louder or softer on the top of that. When it's actually in use, that dial goes white. So the coloring, you know, I'm a pushover for lights. It does have really cool lighting in it. So right now, we'll leave this where it is, and I'm going to kind of show you how it works. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this right in front of me. Clearly, it doesn't have to be this close. It's typically 6 to 8 feet away with no problem. And I'll just do some simple things. Now, you do get an instruction book. I should point that out. And this is the entire instruction book. So it's very simple in terms of how to operate it. When you get it, you're going to download an app to your Droid system or to your iPhone or tablet, whatever it may be, and it's just the Amazon Echo app. And what that will do is it will allow you to configure this device to your area network. This does log on to your Wi-Fi. It will not connect through a wire. It has to have Wi-Fi. And you will put in your username, your password, identify the network, just like you would with any other Wi-Fi device. And that takes, I don't know, a minute. And essentially, you're going to find your network. You know what it's called. You're going to click on it, put your username and password in, and it runs through the routine. And bingo, you're all set. So that's pretty straightforward and pretty simple. It also gives you very good detail about what it can do, how to use the remote, and they did a decent job. They also put in another card that gives you some interesting things that you can do with it, and we're going to do some of those right now. So, as you know, I'm in Scottsdale, Arizona. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to wake Alexa up, and I'm just going to say, Alexa. I'm saying it quietly, and then I'm going to ask it, what's the weather in Scottsdale? So, Alexa, what's the weather in Scottsdale?
In Scottsdale, it's 98 degrees with clear skies and sun. Tonight, you can look for clear skies and a low of 68 degrees.
Alexa, what's the weather in Scranton, Pennsylvania?
Right now in Scranton, Pennsylvania, it's 64 degrees with clear skies. Tonight's forecast has clouds and a low of 51 degrees.
All right, I mean, that's very cool, and it's instant, so that's a no-brainer type of thing. Let's get into slightly more advanced things. Let's say I want a timer for a minute, so I'm going to go, Alexa, set a timer for 1 minute.
1 minute, starting now.
All right, so it's going to give me a beep or something in 1 minute, so it's really great for setting timers. It will also do a shopping list, so all you do is say shopping list, and it will put it on like an Amazon shopping list, and you can go to the store, check your iPhone or your smartphone or your tablet, whatever, and your shopping list is right there. So that's a really cool feature, and it does that quite well. other things, and we'll talk about that in a minute. I'm waiting for my timer to go off. You can ask it some questions like, Alexa, how tall is the Space Needle? No, it didn't hear me. Let's try it again. Alexa, how tall is the Space Needle?
The Space Needle's height is 604 feet, 184 meters.
Alexa, tell me a joke.
What did the dog say after a long day at work? Today was rough.
There's my 1-minute alarm. How do I turn it off? Alexa, stop. And you'll notice that the blue light went out. So it's it is robotic, and it works fairly well for what it's supposed to do as long as it knows what to do. So what do I mean by that? Well, here's what I mean. Let's try this. Alexa, who is Thomas Edison?
Thomas Edison, 1847 to 1931, the American inventor and entrepreneur.
Okay. Alexa, who is the Gadget Professor?
I can't find the answer to the question I heard.
All right, let's try a different way. Alexa, who is Don Baine? Didn't like that at all. Alexa, who is Don Baine?
Donald Henderson Dan Baine was a Canadian amateur athlete and merchant.
So it got the answer completely wrong. So this certainly is not foolproof. There's just no question it makes a lot of mistakes. You do have the ability to go in and do voice training, which I've done twice. I haven't noticed yet any improvement in the voice recognition, not that it's bad to begin with. That said, now we get into some interesting things. Watch this. Alexa, play Beast of Burden by the Rolling Stones.
Here's a sample of Beast of Burden, 2009 edit, remastered, digital version by the Rolling Stones.
So it's pretty quick. I mean, it's real quick. Now watch this. Alexa, louder. Alexa, louder. It's packing quite a wallop. Alexa, lower. So it shut off then. I didn't tell it to turn off. So again, it works kind of, sort of, and it doesn't work. And you just don't know when it's going to do that. But, you know, the ability for it to play a song that you want to hear instantly is pretty cool. Now, that said, it's not going to play every song because it's got to be in its database, and it's not. Now, what they've done is they've created a mechanism, and they're just updating this, frequently, and I got to give them credit for that. It's still a relatively new device, but you can hook up Pandora and iHeartRadio and quite a few other services, I believe Spotify. So if you have an account, you can go in on the app and log in your username and password, for example, in Pandora, and it will play Pandora for you, and it works quite well. Watch. Alexa, Steely Dan, Pandora.
Getting your Steely Dan radio station from Pandora.
Now, I couldn't get it to play that quick on my tablet, quite frankly. Next song, Alexa. Next song. So it's quite responsive, and again, when it works quite well. Alexa, stop. So those kinds of things are really neat, and it's definitely a lot of fun. There's no question about it. I also can program this to give me the news. So all I would say is, Alexa, top news stories.
Here's your flash briefing. In NPR News from TuneIn.
From NPR News in Washington, I'm Janine Herbst. The FBI is providing new details of a terrorist plot that was thwarted yesterday in Boston. Officials say the
Alexa,
26-year-old who was
louder.
to randomly kill police officers in Massachusetts. NPR's Tobias Smith
Alexa,
reports
stop.
an alleged
So that's really cool. I really like that a lot. But the problem is I only can get NPR News, and they're not the only news organization in the world. So that kind of bugs me. So there are some neat things that this will do. There's no question about it. If you want to play music, it's very cool for that. It will play, according to this, it will play your Prime Music on Amazon, and you can request by Alexa, play something by Bruno Mars.
I couldn't find songs by Bruno Mars in your music library. To hear custom stations for artists, add custom radio account using the Echo app.
So what it's telling you is that Bruno Mars isn't available on its database, and what you have to do is create a Bruno Mars station, either in Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, or on your iTunes. So again, there are significant limitations to what this will do. Other things that this will do, which I think is kind of neat, is, and you got to be careful, there you can engage, click yes, and you can ask this to buy something on Amazon, and then you have to put a PIN in. So if my PIN was 1234, I would say, Alexa, Amazon, reorder the soap detergent that I had last week, and it will say, what's your PIN number? I would give it my PIN number, 1234, and it will reorder it for you just like that. So there are a lot of things that this will do that I think are really, really ingenious and really cool. And again, it sounds really nice. The quality of the sound is good. There's enough volume. There's enough oomph. Now, here's where we get into the crazy part. The crazy part is the price. The price of this was $99, and I had to wait a long time to get it. And is it worth $99? Well, it's worth $99 just as a Bluetooth speaker alone, in my opinion, because it's again, the quality of sound is good. The amplification is loud, it's not distorted, it's very well built, and it does a lot of other cool things. So is it worth $99? Yeah. Now the price is up to $200. Is it worth $200? I say no. And the reason I say no is there's just not a lot of functionality for $200. If I want a Bluetooth speaker, I have a ton of Bluetooth speakers in that range that are actually better than this. The other thing is there's just not a lot of functionality at this point in time. And I understand it's a new product, and the fact that they don't even have Amazon Echo in the Amazon store, at least I didn't see it. It's a separate place to go. It's a separate department of Amazon. I give them a lot of credit for even thinking of the concept to develop this. And I honestly think in 3 to 6 months, there's going to be a lot of new apps that are going to be incorporated in this device. So over the long run, is it worth $200? Probably, but I would wait until those apps are absolutely implemented. Another thing I just saw that it will do is it will connect to the Wemo and different types of lighting controllers, so you'll be able to say, Alexa, turn the light on in the living room. Alexa, dim the light in the living room. Alexa, turn the light on in the bedroom. Things like that. It will actually do that now. Of course, you've got to buy the Wemo hardware, but so what? To have a device that you could talk into and it will respond to the commands is really futuristic. And as I said, I think over the next 3 to 6 months, this very well may be well worth $200, and at that point they'll probably raise the price to $250. But I think that you're going to see a lot more out of this technology, and it's right in its infancy stages. The fact that they don't make these until they have a lot of orders, at least that's my perception. I waited 6 months to get this one, and in the 6 months they did upgrade maybe 3 or 4 different features, which again are very cool. So my take on this is if you can get it for $99, it's a really cool, fun device, and you're going to love the Bluetooth speaker. It really is well made. $200, I would probably hold off for a while, and once you see a bunch more apps coming out that makes it more functionality so you're getting more bang for the buck, then I would probably pull the trigger. But I do think over time you're going to see a lot more from this technology, and pretty soon, probably in a year or two, you're going to see a lot of people copying this. I just turned the mic off. I just bumped the switch and actually it glows red. And now I'll put this back on. So now I'd like to give you my my concluding thoughts, if you will, and kind of wrap everything up. You talk about price and its worth, its value, but the truth of the matter is everything that this will do, you can do right now on your Android system, and you can do it right now on the with Siri on the iPhone. There's not much, in fact, there's nothing that this device will do that my iPhone won't do. In fact, the iPhone will actually do more, and so will your Android. I cannot schedule something yet. If I go, Alexa, schedule lunch tomorrow with Elliot at 12 o'clock. All right, it didn't hear me there. Alexa, schedule lunch tomorrow at 12 o'clock with Elliot.
I add a scheduled lunch tomorrow at 12 o'clock with you to your to-do list.
Now what it did is it added it to my to-do list, not to my calendar. It still can't do that. That's not good. So I can easily do that on my iPhone, obviously. Schedule lunch tomorrow at noon with Elliot.
Which one? Okay, I set up your event with Elliot for tomorrow.
So
Shall I schedule?
there it is in a nutshell. Anything that can be done on this can be done on the tablet, on the smartphone that you have. So it goes back to, is it worth $99? Yeah, probably, because you get a great Bluetooth speaker. That said, is it worth $200? It just isn't. So those are my concluding thoughts. It's a very well-made device. I really like it. I think in the next 6 months to a year, you're really going to see this technology take off, and I think this is how it starts. It's really in its embryonic stages. So let's do this. Alexa, say goodnight.
Good night. Sleep tight.
That will wrap it up for the Gadget Professor. See everyone next week.
The Gadget Professor is produced by Don Baine, Multimedia Communications, LLC. If you would like your product reviewed on The Gadget Professor or would like to appear on The Gadget Professor, contact us via email at thegadgetprofessor@gmail.com. The opinions expressed on the program by the host, guests, call-in listeners, or chatters are solely the opinions of the original source who expressed them. And thank you for watching The Gadget Professor.